How to build your brand. Building your brand is a hardworking task that doesn't happen overnight. Everything you decide for your brand must be designed strategically. Every moment you do has to be well structured, like playing chess. This process requires deep thinking, a team with secure communication, and a deep understanding of your brand. Does all of this seem intimidating? Well, it doesn't have to be. We're here to guide you through the successful process of building and improving your brand in a way that you maybe never thought of. What's up, guys? Welcome to the 9 to 5 Rebel, and in today's video, we'll give you the best tips on how to build your brand. Stay until the end to find out how to get the most out of your company. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to keep receiving more useful content like today's video. So let's begin. What is a brand identity? Before we get deep into the brand building process, we have to know the basics. A brand identity goes beyond the color palette, logo, and infographic style. Making it easier, we can define a brand identity as how your brand looks, feels, and speaks to the audience. A brand identity will give you the mechanisms to communicate with the world, stand out from your competitors, and engage people through experiences. Sad to say, many brands struggle while they don't know who they are or how they can effectively communicate their brand. Regardless of what your primary problem is, one thing is sure. If you want a competitive and successful brand, creating a strong brand identity is mandatory. How can you achieve a better communication with people while building solid relationships for long-term success? Simple. Just communicate who you are in an effective way. What does a brand identity include? Many people misunderstand the true components of a brand identity. A logo and a color palette alone do not make a brand identity. In the design process, you have to be able to make a comprehensive visual language that can be applied to everything, from your website to your packaging. Every brand identity would be different, depending on the content and plan, but a fundamental brand identity incorporates logo, colors, typography, photography, illustration, iconography, design system, data visualization, web design, interactive elements, video, and motion. The keys to a strong brand identity. Keep in mind that just because you design those elements doesn't mean they're effective. A strong brand identity needs to work for everyone, including your internal team, like brand ambassadors, content creators, and the people who will interact with it, customers. Through the whole design process, make sure your brand identity is easy to apply, it's clear for designers to use, distinct, it stands out from competitors and catches people's attention, easy to remember, it causes a visual impact, flexible, it can grow and evolve with the brand, cohesive, each piece significantly contributes to the brand identity. Your team could face some challenges if any of these elements are not present, and we don't want these. Each member of our team needs to be able to complement each other. Each person is an important piece of our puzzle, known as our brand. How to build a brand identity. To make this process easier for you, we will guide you step by step. Maybe you're feeling intimidated right now, but no worries. We will tell you what mistakes you should avoid so that everything goes smoothly. Step 1. Complete your brand strategy. What is a brand strategy? It's like a plan that describes exactly what you're trying to accomplish and how you're going to make it. It consists of brand heart, purpose, vision, mission, values, brand messaging, brand voice, personality, values, and pillars, brand identity, logo, color, typography, etc. Your brand identity is beneficial to excel visually your brand communication. As such, before you dive into your brand identity, it's important to have a fully fleshed out strategy. Now, to design a strong brand identity, you need to complete the foundational work of your brand strategy. We're talking about your brand heart and brand messaging. These two help us to understand what we're trying to communicate, so the brand identity can be designed in a way that it also would be able to communicate successfully. Do you already have your brand strategy? Great, let's dive into the next step. Step 2. Dig into your current brand identity. Regardless of how you're building your brand identity, entirely from scratch or updating an old identity, you would need to fully evaluate the next things. The actual state of your brand's identity, how that brand identity might be crafted or modified to align with your goals. The goal here is to understand how your brand is being perceived internally and externally. If you get an honest and accurate reflection, you could comprehend how and where you're succeeding or what to correct. Step 3. Know your personas. Your brand identity is the face, which interacts with the whole world. Regardless of what you create, it should accurately communicate who you are. One common misconception is that a brand identity is just informed by what your brand wants to present. This isn't wholly true. It's also informed by what your brand's customers want to engage with or are used to interacting with. If your identity doesn't match with them, it won't result effective. This doesn't completely mean your brand's customers will choose your logo color. It means that you will make more effective design choices once you understand what they need and want. Don't be afraid to go beyond your primary audience, customers. You also want to consider how secondary or tertiary groups might perceive your brand, like other brands or potential employees. This information can also influence your design decisions. Step 4. Identify your competition. Building a brand identity is all about standing out, making your brand unique, visible, and relevant. Although, until you can't firmly understand your competitive landscape, it's easy to blend in. Knowing this, it's crucial to understand not just who your competition is, but how your brand compares. Don't forget to pay special attention to how your competitors present themselves in terms of common visual elements, trends, industry-specific visual themes, brand personalities, etc. Step 5. Write your creative brief. When you complete all the previous steps, you have the information you need to start design. However, we don't recommend jumping right in. Start with a creative brief that outlines the critical info you need to keep your team on the same page and ensure you create a visual identity that goes with your brand. Remember to don't provide too much or too little info. Your brief should always inform, not overwhelm. Step 6. Brainstorm your visuals. It's probable that by now, you will have tons of information to help inform ideation, thanks to your strategy, brand identity, personas, competitors' evaluation, and brief. At this point, you want to transform that text-based information and translate it into visual concepts. To start, gather your team and brainstorm word clouds that best describe your brand. You can even ideate 5 to 7 descriptors to start. You should not focus on associate words into other words. The goal is to bring those words to life through visuals. Think about what those words make you visualize in your mind. The associations can seem abstract, but it is crucial to get everything out, as weird as it could sound. For instance, if your brand surface is fast, don't talk about other words for fast, e.g. swift. Think about what fast brings to mind. Usually the elements that elicit the most potent emotional response provokes additional imagery and help you build a visual playground to dig into. Step 7. Design your individual elements. And now we have the fun and challenging part. Logo. The design system starts with your logo. Ensure your sketch is powerful enough to deliver the message on its own, without the enhancement of color. Colors. Once you have a solid logo, you can explore your color palette. Color is a great tool to differentiate your brand from competitors, but know that color can also evoke strong emotions, so choose wisely. Typography. All the visual elements in your identity should complement each other. Typography, which should be informed by the shape of your logo. Design system. As brand identity is all about introducing yourself to people effectively, it should be an enjoyable experience. The layout should be easy to navigate through visual communication. More elements can form the brand design, like photography, illustration, iconography, data visualization, interactive elements, motion graphics, video, and web design. Step 8. Build your brand style guide. It's heartbreaking when a beautifully designed brand identity is never used or misused. A brand style guide, if it's crafted the right way, is the lifesaver here. Make sure that it includes easy-to-follow guidelines for every part of the brand identity, including examples and use cases. Once completed, validate that guidelines are being distributed to the team, are easy to access, and regularly updated. Step 9. Start a brand blog. If you haven't already, launch a blog today. What's more, keep it updated. Lots of business people start blogging, then forget them for weeks, months, or even years. When someone stumbles across your blog and sees you haven't updated in 6 months, what are they going to think? For one, they might think you're not in business anymore. Step 10. Create a strong customer support base. Customer care extends in all markets. You lose clients because you're not providing excellent customer support. Your brand is meant to be about how you handle clients. Display your ability to answer questions, address problems, and share your experience with the rest of the planet. After all, you saw that building your brand takes a lot of work and collaboration, but if you choose the right steps, the ride will be worth it. We hope you liked our video. Also, don't forget to give us a like if you enjoyed our video, share it with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel to receive more business-related content like this. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.